Okay, hello everyone, and hello to you if you're watching this playback. Thank you for watching it. You guys, it's almost September. I can't, yeah, I can't believe it. So anyway, it's almost September, and I love the weather here today. It kind of feels like fall. So this may not be a full 30-minute call, but we'll see how it goes. I just have some recap things I want to go through with you, and then I asked Jeanette to share with us tonight based on a conversation we had this morning that I feel everyone needs to hear. But I first want to give a shout out to Jeanette, and I might put you on the spot, Jeanette, in a little bit too, and have you speak to this. But yeah, surprise! But she went way out of her comfort zone, I know, twice today, and did an opportunity presentation with Marisa. And she did such an amazing job. Like, Jeanette, you were so well spoken and just so gentle with your words and slow with your words, so it's so easy to understand. I'm just so proud of you. Like, so proud of you. It was so, so, so good. So if you guys did not see her, I know Marisa, and she'll send out that playback, and I'll post it on TMAC because it was phenomenal. They were such a good duo. The other thing is Carrie's call today. I was not able to hear it, but I'm hearing amazing feedback that Carrie really wants to go back to the basics. And so the call highlighted a lot of stories and a lot of testimonies that are very, very powerful. And people are saying that it's a call that would be great for prospects. So if you have not seen it yet, that has been emailed out by Stu. It comes to your email via Ahave and Associates, and then you can find that link. If you don't find it in your email, another way to do it is to go into your back office, and it will be in your back office email as well. And one other trick I want to give you is if you log into your back office and you go to Account Services, it's the last tab when you're on the home page, and then you go to Personal Information, you can, at the very bottom, there's a drop down, and you can ask to be text when an email is sent to you. So every time Stu sends out an email, I get a text that I have one. And I love that. Then I know the information is there. I can get rid of that email from my Gmail account, and I know that it's in my back office. So just a heads up if you want to get that notification. I also, because it is month end, I wanted to read you some of the things that Stu talked about. And he said, again, the call epitomizes why most people have joined, helping other people to better their health and better a financial future. And he said, this is a selection process. When you show the ABC, people fall into one of three categories. They either get it and want to get on the products or involved in the business, or they need information, and you'll then direct them to a third party. And that may be a person, it may be a Zoom, it may be a company video, it may be a YouTube video. Find out what they want to know and then educate them and inform them. You're almost asking for permission on what it is they need to know to get to the point where they're ready to make that decision. And he said, no convincing. We're not a big convincing business. And number three, if they don't see it, then just ask them if you can stay in touch with them and let them know how you're doing, and let them know ask how they're doing from time to time. And this is just a way that you can then drip on them. And that brings me to as well, I really want to make sure you guys are utilizing Vitality Living. It is such a special tool. I have a gal I met at CrossFit, and we really just hit it off, and we're building a really beautiful friendship, and it's just a friendship that I'm glad to have either way. But she's seen my posts, and so she's asked what I've done, and we're getting together with another gal tomorrow just to kind of get together for the afternoon and boutique hop. But anyway, she said, I really want to know more about what you're doing. I said, tomorrow might not be the best time, but I'm going to send you an ABC video. It's kind of how our company got started. And then when the timing is right, I'll share more with you if you're interested. And I sent her the video, and right away she was like, I want to know more information. She goes, I don't know if tomorrow will be the right time either. And so I said to her, but she said, let's set something up. And I said, in the meantime, until we set something up, would you mind if I added you to a page where we have information on our products and many stories of how our products have affected other people's lives? And she was like, absolutely. And I just feel like that, you guys, is an amazing third party that allows them to look at things they want to look at, to browse on their time and really seek the information that is pertinent to them. And then when you get back to them, they're kind of that extra step ahead, if that makes sense. So really make sure you're using that. Just never add them without asking. And when you add them, please let your upline Pro 5 or higher know. Let them know as soon as possible, because what happens now, if you add someone to a group, they're going to get a notification that they've been added. And once they accept that notification, you then can put them on that page. And it's important you know when they're added so that you can tag them to the top, they call it an announcement now, to the top announcement post. And you want to welcome them, and you want to make sure that you tag them. And when you tag them, their name will show up in blue. And then they will get a notification in their feed that they've been put on the page. It's just an amazing tool. I want to make sure that you don't take advantage, or you don't not use. The other thing is, the Ireland tracker is now in the back office. It will track your points as you accumulate them. And the Vitality Stack promo is going on for, what do we have in the month? 4 more days that Sean and Michelle are doing. And that is for new customers or anyone that has upgraded to the Vitality Stack. So that is the Vitality Hustle page. If you get a Vitality Stack, go to that page and, I was gonna say, blow your own horn. Toot your own horn. Toot your own horn. Go to Vitality Hustle and let people know you got a Vitality Stack, because it's important, right? We want to celebrate that. And then what else? Vitality Living. Okay, and then also tomorrow night, once again, I'll have that information for you by the time this is done, but they should be on Big Blue every single week. Pro 5s and up are teaming up like Marisa and Jeanette did today. And every Tuesday night through the end of the year, you can count on the fact that there will be an opportunity presentation taking place. I believe it's 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Central. And I will get that information to you by the time we're done here. But it will always be there, and it will be 2 people, one doing the products and one doing the business. And I really love the team up thing, because people get to hear more than one person's story. They get to hear from a different personality, and I just think it's really impactful in that way. So, so this morning, Jeanette and I were talking, and she just was kind of mentioning to me, what were we talking about? Where's my train of thought? Oh my gosh, you guys. I really don't even remember. I'm unmuting you. What was I going to have you talk about? Oh, yes. I'm really sorry.
I don't know.
I hope no one watches this replay now. But Jeanette was talking about some of the information she's used by plugging into some certain events, and just how powerful she thinks it is. Some of those the three questions that she's learned that are the most impactful, that you could ask yourself and you could ask a new distributor. And I just really wanted her to share those, because I think it's something we all need to hear about. So Jeanette, save me.
All right. I actually, you'll be proud. I actually did even a little fancy thing with it, Tanya.
Oh, you're going to share your screen?
Oh, share my screen. Because remember you said, can you, anyways, yeah. All right.
No,
so,
I can't. I need to read an Axio.
Yeah, you do. As I told Gabby, I'm like, go make me an Axio, because this is my 3rd Zoom today. My brain is kind of fried. So anyways, if you guys have a piece of paper, write down these 3 questions. I do want you to think about them, but I think these first 3 you can write down and not think too much about, if that makes sense. So the first question is, how much money do you need to fulfill your wants, dreams, and needs? Remember, I did this in between other webinars, so if they don't make sense. So write down, what is it that, how much money, what dollar amount will it take to get to what you're after? Okay. Someone just give me when I get a couple of thumbs up, then I'll move on. Okay. 1, 2. Okay. Okay. Next. What rank do you need to be at for those dreams, wants, needs to come true? Thumb up. Oh, good. Okay. And are you going for Ireland? And I may have forgotten some of them that I was going to put on here, Tanya. This morning was a long time ago. Okay. So those are pretty easy to answer, right? Okay. So then let's answer those. Okay. How do your dreams make you feel? So these are the ones that you might have to take some time, and I'm okay with that. Just maybe write that down. So, how do your dreams make you feel, or your wants or your needs? Okay. The next one is, what do you need to do? Steps you need to take to get to the rank. So the rank that we just talked about, what do you need to do to get to that rank? And again, that could take a little bit of time to write out, but we have a system. We have a proven system in place. So I think that's probably, if I had to tell anybody, if I were training a brand new distributor right now, I would say start there. And just like Carrie Dickey going back to the basics on our call, maybe we should all just start going back to the basics and just doing that proven system over and over and over again. So, and then 3, what do you need to do to get yourself to Ireland? If it were me, I think what I would do is I would draw an arrow up to what I need to do to get to that rank, because usually that rank's probably what's going to get you to Ireland, right? Whatever those steps are. So those steps should be about the same. And again, go back to the basics. Okay. So that's pretty simple. So here was the first set of questions. How much money do you need to fulfill your wants, dreams, needs? What rank do you need to be at? And are you going for Ireland, right? Those seem pretty important. Seems like these are questions that we really, really should be focusing on. And how many times have we been told, post that rank all over your house, post what you're wanting all over everywhere, right? Well, how about this? Cross every single one of those out, you guys. Cross out where you want to be, or not necessarily what your dreams are, because you wrote down how those dreams are going to make you feel. But maybe cross out those ranks. Cross that rank out. Cross out why, going to Ireland. Because here's the thing. If you just do these things, if you know how those dreams are going to make you feel, why you want to be there, and what it's, and your needs, why do you have to be where you're going to be, right? If you know those things, if you know the steps that it's going to take to get to that rank, if you know those steps that it's going to take to get to Ireland, let's not focus on that actual rank. Let's focus on this part of it. Let's focus on the feeling behind it. Let's focus on the steps that it's going to take to get there. So what you should be posting around your house is how you're going to feel to fulfill those dreams. This is how I'm going to feel when I hit pro whatever. What I want you to say is, this is how it's going to feel to be a stay-at-home mom. Or this is how it's going to feel to quit my job. Or this is how it's going to feel, because that's where the focus really should be on. It should be about your heart. It should be about the feeling behind it. And then as far as your action steps, we've got to just take those actions over and over and over. And I promise you, if you know what it takes to get to that rank or to Ireland, and you know how it's going to feel when you get there, and that's all you focus on, the other will fall in place, and it's going to happen. And so this to me was something, oh, I forgot. I put a little heart around it. Isn't that cute? This to me, I've heard this, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, but this was something that had been said quite a few times on different calls I've been on different, trainings and things, staying plugged in, listening to, other lines, listening to other people, and just hearing. And this really resonated with me because, and I'm sure we've all heard this, Sherry Hollenbach talked about this when she was on stage, just focusing on the do and just doing it. And so, I guess the biggest thing, and maybe I'm giving too much information from myself, which you guys, most people who know me, I don't do this very often, but I think the hard part is this: you got to ask yourself, are you happy where you are? And that was something that you need to focus on for you. Are you happy where you're at? Are you happy with where your life is at? And if you are, that's okay. And it's okay to be there. So I was talking to Tanya about that this morning. A lot of things we hear are, where do we want to be rank wise? Where do we want to be financially? Where we want to be, in certain areas. And for me, in the beginning, hitting Pro 5 was big because it meant I got to come home and be with my kids. And I wondered why, because I'm very competitive. And I wondered why I'd never, why didn't I have the drive to keep going? Why haven't I hit 6? Why haven't I hit 7? Or why, and so maybe you're asking yourself some questions. Why is it that I'm at a certain rank and I haven't gone any further? Do you have a clear identification of where you want to go or what you want? Have you made it about your heart? Does that make sense? Like, has it been a thing that you can feel it? We always talk about that. You got to feel it. Your why has to make you cry and all these things. And you know what? The thing is my why did make me cry in the beginning. But my why actually, it pissed me off because I just wanted to be home with my children. I just wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. That's all I desired to be. And to be honest, you guys, hitting those other ranks have not been in my brain until now. It just hasn't been there. So why haven't I been, or why haven't I pushed any further than I have? Because you know what? I haven't wanted to. I have been so happy being that stay-at-home mom. I've been so happy, knowing where I'm at. I have the most phenomenal team. Now, hear me out. I have not plugged in. That didn't mean that I sat back and did nothing. I still plugged in. I still tried to lead my team. I still went to every event. I still tried to attend at everything that was local. So, I do want to say that. It wasn't like I sat back and didn't do anything. But I was comfortable where I was. So I guess, for me, where I came just in the last little bit was that realization of, why do I want to be a Pro 6? Why do I want to be a Pro 7? There's got to be some sort of emotion, some sort of feeling behind it. Because if I don't have that there, why am I going to reach for that, right? Why am I going to work my tail off? Because we all know that this isn't net wish marketing. Right? We all know that it's network marketing. We all know we've got to work to get to where we're going to be. And if I don't have a desire to be there, then I'm not going to probably follow a system. I'm probably not going to push through the hard stuff. I'm just going to keep going. You know what I'm saying? And so now, like, I look at the things that I want in my life, and I'm excited to run for Pro 6, run for Pro 7, go to Ireland. I'll be honest with you guys, Ireland was a big one for me. And the reason for that was that's been a desire of my husband's from the time we met, to go to Ireland. He's always wanted to go there. And so to hear that, I thought, oh, okay, Lord, is this just you finally telling me, okay, it's time. It's time. It's time to keep going. Because I know what I can do with this. I know what I can do financially for my family if I just keep moving. The problem was I never put the emotion behind what I was going to do with it. Does that make sense? So I think that's the biggest thing, is just sit back, find out that why. If you have to, and it shouldn't be something that you sit down and write in a moment. It should be something that you're going to sit back and, maybe you meditate about it. Maybe you pray really hard about it and ask God, what are those things? Maybe it's something that you've always wanted and you really don't think you're deserving of it. And I look at that for me, because the financial stuff never excited me, if that makes sense. Like being like, hey, I'm a pro whatever, making this much money, and I need this big dream home, and I need all these things. That didn't excite me, and I had to figure out why. Who doesn't want to live in their dream home, right? Who doesn't want to take their family on vacations or retire their spouse? Why wasn't that enough for me? And those are things that I had to keep digging down deep and trying to figure out why. And it came down to the fact that I never felt like I was worthy of those things. Those things weren't something that I was raised knowing I should have. So therefore, if I'm not worthy of them and I don't feel that I'm worthy of them, how am I going to achieve those things? You know what I mean? And so in a lot of time spent praying and figuring it out and dusting out all the garbage that came in my head of, I'm not at this rank, so therefore I'm disappointing people. Or I'm not doing this, so therefore I'm, my upline's looking down on me. Or I'm not good enough because I didn't do this or whatever. I didn't attend this event because I wanted to be with my children. I didn't go to the last, LifeVantage Academy. I wanted to be there. I'll tell you that I wanted to be there more than anything. I sent Tanya, I'm so sorry. And she was like, why are you apologizing? The thing is, it was more important for my family that I was home with them the last Saturday of the summer. And I had to forgive myself for that because we put in those doubts in our own brain and say to ourselves, I'm not good enough because I didn't do these things, these expectations. Now, I'm not saying those expectations are wrong, because I also feel like we could say to ourselves, we could give ourselves excuses as well, right? We could say, well, I didn't go because of my kids. But what did it make you feel like because you didn't go? There's the difference. Did you feel like you were an awful person and you were going to be looked down on? How did it make you feel? If you were just like, whatever, and you made an excuse, that's one thing. But if it hurts you, brush that away and keep moving on. Dust yourself off and say, it's okay because I made this choice for this reason. But recognize the feelings behind it all. And so for me, like this summer, I guess it's not over yet. It just has been a real reflection, because I have been beating myself up for probably a good year on why I'm not where I am. And it wasn't because anyone made me feel any certain ways, because I listened to the background noise and I made myself believe what they were saying was what it was towards me. You know what I mean? Or I was comparing myself to someone else. I was comparing myself to someone else's journey. I was comparing myself to someone else's growth, not knowing what their backstory is, knowing nothing. It was all about comparison. It was all about, not knowing, not truly knowing. And so I just want you guys to look at yourself, look at your own journey, figure out what it is and how it's going to truly feel. I know we've talked about this before. I know Tanya is all heart and she's told us this enough times, but honestly, until you get to the point where you go, enough's enough and this is how I feel, it's really not, you're going to be where you are, right? And maybe you're happy. I could think of one network marketer in our company who I looked up to so much. So much. And she wasn't at a top rank. She was, she was in the lower ranks. But I loved and looked at her and admired her. She inspired me so much. And she is not really not doing the business, but she's not really plugged in. And I admire her courage to take that stand and say, the reason why is this. Does that make sense? She is comfortable and happy with her. And I say this, and I see a lot of my team members on here, because I don't want any of my team members to be like, I'm done. But I want you to be happy for you. I want you to be comfortable where you're at. Does that make sense? Because I think when we live in a state of chaos and discomfort within our own head, and we're just constantly beating ourselves up, you're not living healthy. And so for like a year, I just feel like I've been living this unhealthy, trying to figure out why I wasn't where I was. Why am I not good enough? Why am I not good enough to be a 6 or 7? And I'd get angry at, why people were moving faster than me. And the thing was this, is it wasn't that, that's not my journey, that's theirs. And my journey needed to be mine. I was just happy being where I was, you know, and now I'm realizing I am truly worthy of the things that I want. I should be excited about a dream home. I should be excited about retiring my spouse. I should want those things for myself and not feel bad about it. I think, you know, my whole life, you're just raised to want to give and you want to love people. You want to, you know, I feel like that's how I was raised, which isn't a bad thing. But then it also comes with the fact of, am I good enough? Should I want that? Right? I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. So I talked a little more than I think Tanya expected me to. And I just felt like it just was on my heart. I just feel like you guys we're all worthy of something. And it doesn't matter what rank that is. It doesn't matter. You may never get to Pro 7, 8, 9, or 10 because you don't want to be. Just figure out where you want to be and what makes you happy in this life. It might just be that you are so happy at Pro 3 making an extra $580 a month, or at Pro 5 making an extra, you know, $2,500 a month because you got to stay home and you're happy. Find that happiness and don't let anything get in the way of that. And that is probably the biggest advice I can give you. But if you truly want and desire and feel worthy of those other things, go for it. You can get that too. Not one person that I'm looking at right now can achieve that. Not one person on this Zoom right now cannot not get to Pro 10. I believe every single person on here can. Actually, I know every single person can. It's got to be your own. You've just got to put yourself out there. Your heart, you got to say, this is what I desire and this is what I'm wanting. It's got to be about you. We got to stop making it about everyone else. We got to stop looking at everyone else's journey and saying, because what that does is it's going to hold us back. It's our journey, right? And I believe that every one of us can get to where we need and where we want to be and where God intends us to be with this business. You know, Tanya said this morning, she said, I think you feel the same way, that God gave this business to me. And I believe 100%, 1000% that God gave this business to me. At the time that it was placed to me, most of you have heard my story. My dad was in need of these products, was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and 1 month later, this product came into my life. And I desired to be a stay-at-home mom, and this business came into my life. And I was able to achieve things in a quick time, you know, a quick amount of time because I desired those things. So don't figure out what you want and go after it. That's all I can tell you. Go after it like your life depends on it. I mean, like that dream depends on it. I mean, just go for it, you guys. So anyways, I love you guys. I think we can all do this. So
thank you, Jeanette. I think it is really important, the message here, you guys, too. And you've heard me talk about the fact that I've had burnout throughout this journey as well. And I think the bottom line with this is I don't ever want you to tie yourself and your worth and who you are to the rank. And sometimes that is a big push. Sometimes that may be all you hear, especially when we think about an incentive trip. And that can put you in a bad place at times. And so when Jeanette told me about those 3 questions this morning, I really wanted her to share that because, like she said, you're asking people, how much money do you want to make? You know, what are the dreams and goals that you have? And based on the money you want to make and you showing them the income earning statement, what rank is that? And then saying to them, what are the things you think you need to do to achieve those? And when they answer that question, what do you think you need to do? Then crossing out those other 2 questions and telling them to focus on the activity. Because when you tie yourself to that rank and you get in that headspace, it's like Jeanette said, you can then take things that are said sometimes or things that are not said, and you have tendencies to filter it in a way that you feel it's coming at you, when in fact it's not at all. But you're going to maybe feel beat down, or you're going to feel unrecognized, or you're going to feel like no one's giving you credit for those little things that you know you're doing behind the scenes. And that has nothing to do with it. It's just the headspace that you're putting yourself in. And I think I may have mentioned it last week, but Mark Johnson asking that guy from Austria, how did he get to Pro 7 in like less than a month? And where did he want to be at global? And he's like, I don't know. He goes, I don't work that way. I just share this over and over. And Stu says it consistently. He's like, we are in a business where you invite, you expose, and you promote. You invite people to look at the ABC, you expose them to a third party, and you promote to the next event or the next Zoom or the next meeting. Invite, expose, promote. He always says those three things. And that's why we're here, right? And that I think I wanted that to be the core of the message with Jeanette. And I hope you got that from her, is just, I don't want you to tie your worth to that rank. And for Jeanette too, her story of she's been happy. I have Pro 5s in my business that are so happy as a 5. And they've told me that, right? I know because of communication where they're at and that they are happy. And I am happy for them. Like I find peace in knowing they're at peace. And they know, because I've communicated it, that if they ever need me and when they're ready, and if they're ever ready to plug back in, I am here for them. And what an amazing business opportunity we have, that someone can maintain a rank of Pro 5 for such a long time and make that kind of an income to stay at home. Like that's an amazing compensation plan, people. That's phenomenal that we have that for people. It really, truly is. And this is your business. And when Jeanette talked to you about the expectations, the only expectations you should have are those that you set for yourself. I don't expect anything of you. Every time I get on a Monday call like this, I hope that people will plug in. I hope that people will watch the Sunday training. I hope that they'll listen to the Monday calls. I hope they'll watch the playbacks. I hope they'll go to events, but I can't be tied to it. I learned a long time ago to let go of that, because if you're tied to everything your people do or don't do, it's going to exhaust you, it's going to wear you out, and it's going to cause frustration in your life. And therefore, when someone comes in, when you ask them that first question, how much money they need and what their dreams and hopes and goals are, remember that. Like, find a place to put that, because that is the thing that you can then bring back to them as a reminder of them, here's what you said you wanted in your life. And I just wanted to remind you of that. If things have changed, I totally get it. If they haven't, then I want you to know I'm here for you to take the next steps necessary to get you where you need to go. And with Jeanette having been where she was, I know that she was really afraid of exposing herself in a big way today to a bigger audience and doing those Zoom presentations. And she killed it. And the only way that she was going to find out and really open herself up to the fact that there's another level of growth waiting for her was to say yes, as scared as she was. And she said yes, and she did it. And now she's going to have that much more posture with her. And everything you do along this journey, you guys, that's what it gives you. It gives you that posture. And I would say to you, like, pray about this opportunity, because not all of our journeys are going to be the same. I've had distributors come into my business that have become some of my closest friends that are still customers, but decided the business was not for them. It just wasn't their cup of tea, but it led them to other beautiful areas within health and wellness. And they're so happy. So pray, and I'm not talking you out of this either. I'm just saying, I really want you to ask God for guidance to show you where you're supposed to be. He's clearly shown me I'm supposed to be in LifeVantage. And so it is then my job to make sure that I don't take it for granted, that I do those necessary activities, that I expose and I invite, I expose, and I promote, so that I know I'm doing the things I'm supposed to do, knowing and trusting that He'll provide the right people in His timing to get me to where I'm supposed to go. That gives me peace. That gives me trust. And it's helped me along the way too to stop comparing, to stop listening to the noise, and to sometimes filter out the things that maybe I don't want to hear that I know will stress me out, or to not pay attention sometimes to the things that may stress me out. So that's up to you guys. And if you find yourselves in places like that where you feel a little overwhelmed and you're just not sure what the right thing is anymore, then reach out, because we don't know you need us until you reach out and tell us that you need us. It's really important that you do that. And the biggest mistake I made when I did Amway, because I had an amazing experience in Amway. I loved my time there. But the biggest mistake I made was not reaching out. I would say, for instance, I'm going to get Ireland. Like, I'm going to make that happen. And then a couple months in, maybe I have no points. And so now I just retract. Like, I'm the turtle that goes back in the shell, and I'm not going to bring my head out, and I'm not going to talk to anybody because I feel so ashamed and I feel like I've let everybody down. And oh my gosh, how embarrassing. That's not the case. It is not the case. You have to reach out. If you feel like a turtle with his head back in the shell, pop it out and just raise the flag, even just to one person, and they'll address it and help you through it, right? And I would love to get a text and say, Tanya, I feel like a turtle. And it'll be our, right? It'll be our little, what do you call it? Like, I'll get it. I'll know what you mean. And I want to help you through that, because I know what that's like. And I just know that, I just know in the right timing, you're going to become that person that you're dying to become inside. And this will be the opportunity of a lifetime for you too. So, yeah. So with that, remember those 3 questions and then bring it down to just that third one. It's all about the activity, you guys. And this isn't going to fall into our lap. We have to do it. You have to make this happen on your own. And the month coming to an end, make sure you look in that back office. I went through my customers today. Now that the last auto ship has gone out, I had a customer whose order did not go through, and she's had consistent orders. I reached out to her. She was on vacation and she has ample supply, so she put it on hold, and it was great. Open up some conversation, and I know where she's at. So just make sure that you're aware of that, because you are not your company when it comes to customer service. Your customer service is up to you. Take care of those customers that you have. And those customers you have can be a great warm market as well. Make sure that they're on the Vitality Living page. Make them warm to the opportunity. They may become your best distributors someday. So with that, tomorrow night, I'll be posting that in the morning and on Team Act, the Tuesday opportunity call. And that's it for now. So we will end in prayer here, you guys.